to wrap up this particular set of videos by putting everything together. We now have our rocket. We have a Kevlar shock cord. This Kevlar shock cord is the 300-pound Kevlar cord I've been using in other videos. It's 1.8 millimeters in diameter, I believe. And again, at 300 pounds, it's extremely strong stuff. I like using the heavier stuff in the bigger rockets just simply because it's easier to tie knots, it's easier to manipulate it. I've not used the thin stuff, but we do have the thin stuff on our streamers and such. So I've got this cord, which is about 6 feet long, and then I tied a loop in the end. So we have our regular connection loop. However, I'm going to connect the other end permanently, and I'll show you that in a moment. A little piece of heat shrink tubing, our blanket, the streamer, and the parachute. So let's just put everything together, and it's pretty easy to do that. First thing we're going to do is attach our shock cord. Make sure it doesn't get tangled up. Okay, so inside the rocket, I did my typical type of build where I have the rocket with a short length of the Kevlar cord. And again, this particular rocket, the Quick Q from Quest, it has actually a loop down the engine mount for attaching a Kevlar cord. Now, some of them I have to do my own work to do that. I have to drill holes or something like that. But this particular rocket comes with a loop here for specifically attaching the Kevlar cord. The Kevlar cord typically goes to an elastic cord that ends up being about 4 feet long. I assume that's going to work quite well. I typically don't build with elastic cords, so that's why I just simply say, well, no elastic cord, I'll just attach the Kevlar cord, and then I can attach whatever I want to this when I'm done. So again, it's really nice. If I want, I could put an elastic cord and attach it to this particular loop. Again, it gives me the option of building it any way that I want by having the Kevlar cord attaching to the back of the engine and then having a swivel here with the loop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this particular Kevlar cord. Another situation that showed how to do this by putting a loop in this and then just simply looping this through and pulling it back. That can be done. In that case, the heat shrink was just put over the eyelet as a bit of a formality. The formality was like, well, let's just hold it in place. This time I'm going to actually heat shrink it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this through the loop. I'm going to tie on here a slip knot. And I did this in the previous video. You see, the slip knot is very useful for this particular application. So the way to do the slip knot is just, make a little, pull this underneath and pull it back across and just tie a little simple knot on here. Now, I don't know if this is called a simple knot. I think it is called a simple knot, but you see what I've done here. It's just a matter of pulling the cord through the eyelet and then just tying a very simple knot onto the Kevlar cord. The nice thing about this is you can pull this as tight as you want to get the knot extremely tight, and it'll still do its job of basically sliding along. So I'm going to pull this tight, maybe about looks like about 3/8 of an inch, and pull this knot very tight. This knot now is really tight on here. As tight as it is, I can still slide this. So this is really nice. All I have to do is pull this tight, and we're done. The reason I like the slip knot is that you can see the little pigtail will keep this direction back here next to the actual cord, and the knot itself lies flat against whatever it's connecting to, in this case the eyelet. So it's a very smooth connection, and you can pull on that as hard as you want. It's not going to come apart. So what we want to do is cover this with a little bit of heat shrink, and this will lock everything into place. I could use CA glue on this, but the reason I use a little bit of heat shrink is that I want to have the cord having a relatively stiff connection onto the swivel, and what that's going to do is to make it easier for the swivel to spin. If you just put a drop of glue on that, the cord now is bouncing up against the swivel, and you might get more of a bouncing effect than you will a swiveling effect. Okay, so I'm just going to melt this really quickly. It's really easy. Just heat this up. It doesn't take much to do it. And that's about all we need. We're done. So now you can see we now have our swivel with the piece of heat shrink. I'm just kind of squeezing it a little bit with my fingers just to make sure there's a nice smooth connection against the Kevlar, just thinning it out a little bit. It's warm, but it's not really hot. And that's it. We're all done. This is now going to be attached permanently. If I have to get this cord off, I can always slice this apart with a hobby knife, even just reheat it until the heat shrink becomes soft again. Just pull it off with a paper towel. So again, it's not that big of a deal. I want to do this because this rocket's going to be up pretty darn high. I'm going to put a D16 in there, and just really let it go flying. So I want to make sure this is extremely well connected. Okay, so let's go ahead and hook together the rest of the components of the recovery system. So we now have the nose cone, the streamer, the blanket, and the parachute. This is very similar to what I have done on other videos. I'm going to do it here just to repeat it for convenience so we can see how everything fits together. The only difference is I'm going to hook two different things onto the same eyelet. This particular device here is a piece of Kevlar felt with an eyelet glued down with E6000 glue. I tend to use E6000 glue because it's a polymer glue. It's very similar in chemistry to an epoxy, except that it's stickier, and it tends to stick much better to things like Kevlar and metal. So I'm going to go ahead and put this through here. And the knot, you don't want to make that knot too big. When you make that knot, make sure it's extremely tight and don't put too much glue on it because you need to pull it through this eyelet here. If you have too much glue in there, you're not going to get it through that eyelet. Okay, so now we have the ejection blanket on the cord. Now we're going to put the nose cone on here. Just a little bit going to this. Okay. And we do the same thing. We simply pull the nose cone through. And again, be careful not to make the knot too big, or that's just simply going to be too difficult to do. So now I need to pass the nose cone and the ejection blanket through the loop. The way I do it, I just usually hold them together like this. Just makes it easy. Nothing fancy about it. We have the loop here, the nose cone and the blanket. Just simply pull it through. And pulling it through transfers the knot to the line over here. So now you can see we've got our ejection blanket and we've got the nose cone, and the loop now is looping through around the cord. So now I'm going to pull the knot all the way back through and tighten everything. So I'm going to pull the knot back through the nose cone. I'm going to pull it back through the blanket. I'm going to pull the knot back through the loop. And I just simply pull this tight. And there we go. The important thing is that we want to have this tied very close to the nose cone, because under high acceleration the streamer is going to tend to slide down. And this will hold the streamer high on the rocket and allow it to keep the center of balance as far forward as possible. It'll keep it from sliding down, it'll keep it from unrolling, it keeps the center of gravity as far forward as we can get. Now if you look at this, the knot is really nice, but it'll come loose. So what we want to do is we want to tie a little bit more knots in here, and that's really easy to do. You just take the cord, make a very simple overhand loop like this, a little twist. That's all this is, just a twist. And we just put the nose cone through it. And then we pull this tight. Pulling this tight, notice we do need to pull the knot through it. Actually, the loop itself is a little bit larger than expected, but that actually makes it easier by keeping the knot a little bit farther out. Sometimes the knot will get caught in here, and it'll then be hard to tie it. Okay, this is actually really strong. It doesn't want to go anywhere, so one knot is just fine. You can use two knots if you want. Let's go ahead and connect the rest of the recovery system to it. So now we have the nose cone attached, we have the rocket attached. We now need to attach the streamer. Same way as the other videos, we just simply push the loop through. And you can see that by using loops and knots, it's really, really easy to do. Rather than trying to use those swivels with a clip. Swivels with a clip to attach things, those clips are 2 inches. Well, the swivel is 1 inch, the clip is another inch. And that's a lot of metal that you're putting in here. That makes it really hard to pack together. But these knots are really easy to work with. And of course the Kevlar is nice and flexible and incredibly strong. So there we have the streamer attached. And now we're just going to attach the parachute. Do this the same way. We're going to take our Kevlar cord, push it through the eyelet. So incidentally, the eyelet I use is a number 8 brass eyelet. What's interesting, the number 8 steel eyelet is actually a slight bit larger, so if you need a little bit more space in here, you can use the number 8 steel eyelet. I don't know why, if they're both number 8, they're slightly different sizes, but they are. So this one, the only trick is we have to pass the parachute through, and that's fairly easy, assuming we don't tangle them up like this. Okay. Just take the parachute and just fold this up and then stick it through the loop. And we're all set. So now we have the nose cone, we have the streamer, the parachute all attached together, and it's all part of the recovery system. And let me make sure I untangle this. So if you want to put this together inside of your rocket body, it's fairly straightforward. Matter of fact, let's do that right now. We've got the rocket body here, and I'm going to assume that we're going to have some wadding stuffed into that, so let's just say, okay, some wadding is stuffed in here. So let's first of all wind up this cord, and I showed a technique for winding it where you make this figure 8 pattern on your fingers, and doing this will wind the cord one way and then wind it the other way such that it doesn't have any twists in it when you're done. And what's really nice, if you just let go of this, it'll just spring itself apart. So this makes a really springy solution, and there's no twist or tangles in your Kevlar cord. And I like to take the bottom finger and push it through the top just to hold it. So now you can see I've got a nice tight little loop here. Just slide it inside. And that's it. We're all done. That's all it takes to do that. And again, coming down to techniques, I've not seen anybody else wind a cord like that. So whether it's new to this channel and new to rocket technology, I don't know. It's extremely effective, and I've shown in other videos how well that works. Now the next thing we want to do is put the parachute in there, and I'm not going to do any fancy folding on this. There's plenty of ways to do it. Ask 100 rocketeers how to do it, they come up with 100 different answers. You can see that we don't have any tangles in the shroud lines. We want to keep it that way. What I like to do is I like to take the top, fold it back, then fold it forward, kind of like a Z fold. And then this is a little bit square, which is what we want because you need to fit it inside. Even though sometimes they'll say, take all the cords, wrap them inside, and then fold it forward, fold it backwards. I found that too much folding makes it hard for it to unfold. So I'm just going to leave it like this and just kind of scrunch it together a little bit so that it doesn't have to do as much work to unfold. And then we can just wind this around here. Now sometimes this is called a slow deploy because the cord lines have to unwind before the parachute opens. That's fine. This can be falling from a very high height, so that's okay. And we just keep on winding this. Notice I'm not wrapping it around like this. If I did that, I would be twisting it. Instead, I'm rolling the parachute and letting the Kevlar cord roll along the side as we do this. Now you can see we got enough space here, so let's go ahead and we'll put this in the rocket. Now the next thing we want to do is to put the streamer in the rocket, and that's real easy to do as well. For the streamer, its cord I like to have in front of this particular Kevlar cord, because by doing so, that will pop out first, and then the parachute will pop out second, and that's actually below this Kevlar felt blanket. Notice I'm putting the cord underneath this. I don't want the cord tangling up on top. A lot of little things I know, but you will get good flights, reliable flights, and that's what this is all about, is to engineer good flights so that you can enjoy getting your rocket back. So I've taken the rubber band off, and we're just going to put this down in the felt like this. And fold this over, and we can see that the streamer is now very well snuggled inside, and now we just simply put this inside. Oops, it's already starting to pop apart. Let me grab that and do it again. Okay, so put this inside. There's actually sufficient space there, so I could have probably put a much larger streamer in there. But again, it's not, the streamer's purpose is not to slow down the rocket. It's only to allow us to spot the rocket when it's very high. So we take the rest of these cords, and we can just kind of actually just wind this on my finger because it's only about 4 or 5 inches here. It's not going to cause that much of a problem. And then we just put this on top, and now just put the nose cone on, and we're all set. So now we're all set for flight. We've got the parachute, we've got the spotting streamer, and there will be some wadding in here, which I did not show in this video. And this particular engine mount, being an 18mm, can take engines like the C6, and hopefully I will launch this on a C engine in another week. Actually, it's going to be very, very cold for this week, And next week will hopefully be a little bit better. Be the last Sunday of January. And we're going to have a polar bear launch. We're going to go out in the middle of the field and try launching. So I want to put this up on a C engine. When I get to the high power field, I'm going to put it like a D16 in it, and it's going to really move. Okay, so that's it. This is the hybrid streamer and parachute system. And I haven't flown this yet, so I can't say exactly how well this is going to work, but you can see it's built on good principles. The parachute, the way it's all put together. The streamer is based on this previous streamer design, which I have tested extensively. And it's a nice rocket. It just snapped together in a matter of minutes, a little bit of glue there, and we're all set to fly. So this ought to be a fun time. And hopefully you can enjoy building rockets with parachutes, with streamers. If you think about it, I could put a larger parachute in there and not put a streamer. I could put maybe a large streamer. I could put maybe a 4-inch wide streamer in here and skip the parachute. So using this recovery system with the felt blanket, the Kevlar felt blanket, gives you options. And when it's windy, you want to use more of the streamers. If you've got some very nice weather and you want to fly high, go ahead and use the parachute. The idea is this channel will give you some ideas on how you can fly better in weather that's not very good. So have fun, have some good flying, and we'll see if this takes off next week at the polar bear launch.